I would not have gone to Rwanda if Cheryl Ripka had not continued asking me to go. Cheryl knew that I had already been to Africa multiple times. She knew that I'd fallen in love with the country and the people, but I had not been to Rwanda. Little did I know how that trip was going to change my life. When I first got to Rwanda and Boneza, so much had already been done through the efforts of Dave McKechnie and his family and friends. There were wells for clean water through Larry and Wendy Ripka and Valmark Member offices who became donors. There was a school, and through the work and the support of Jeff Holler and Chalsey, women's microfinance was blossoming. And I was so touched by what had already been done that I asked our Arise Rwanda Ministries guide and translator, Sharon Mutuni, I asked her, what do you think is the greatest need for the people of Boneza now? And without hesitation, Sharon said, I can assure anyone who watches this video that if you think about what is in your medicine cabinet at home, you have more than was available to 26,000 people in this village. They literally did not have a Band-Aid.
Healthcare wasn't on our radar. We were not expecting someone to come and ask about healthcare. We believed that we were doing it was enough. Clean water, education, microfinance, building homes. We thought that was enough, but God had something else in mind. And so when Barb came up with the healthcare, the medical clinic, we said, wow, this is huge. This is exactly what we've been expecting.
So John has a cousin named Simon. He is one of 2 maxillofacial surgeons for the entire country. So John reached out to Dr. Simon and said, you need to come see me in Boneza. Dr. Simon said he would come. One time. Because he had to make about an 8 to 10 hour round trip from Kigali to Boneza. So he came to Boneza and he treated people. And he went back to Kigali, but he found that he'd left something behind, his heart. And so he told John he'd be back. He said, I cannot desert these people. And one day Dr. Simon said to me, he said, Barb, he said, I can keep coming, but I am so frustrated because I can diagnose these people, but we have no medicine. So the first thing we did was to provide funding for Dr. Simon to keep coming, but this time with medicine that he could buy in Kigali and bring with him. We started to talk about building a building that would have adequate equipment and the right staffing to provide consistent care for these amazing and loving people. So while this was taking place in Boneza, there was also a huge life event taking place for me. And that is that after working for 40 years in my own business, I was fortunate to be able to sell my company. And this then created an entire new life for me in which I now needed to figure out a new purpose. And it didn't take me long to understand that my purpose now was to bring healthcare to not only the people of Boneza, but the people of the entire western province of Rwanda.
When Ward Brem first challenged us to go to Africa almost 8 years ago, he talked about that each of us needed to find our own Africa. We went not knowing what we would find and started this school. I think for Barb, her Africa was just seeing that people in that community didn't even have the basics that we would just expect. And it broke her heart. And I think God really challenged Barb, hey, this is something that you could do that would make a difference.
It was important to me to model what it means to create living legacies by what we do with our money. And I asked myself, when you have more than you need, and they literally don't have a Band-Aid, how can you make them wait? And that led to making the largest financial charitable gift by far of my life.
The clinic is going to offer a lot of things. First of all, it's not just a clinic, it's a medical center. We believe that they're going to be body healing, but also soul healing. It's both, the combination of both. So we're going to provide services, dental, we're going to provide gynecology, we're going to provide children, pediatrics, we're going to provide some theater, like minor theater and major theater. And as it keeps progressing, we believe that we have all the services that a full-fledged hospital does. And in Boneza, the small health clinic that's there doesn't even have any medical equipment, medical supply. There's nothing in there. It's even hard for them to test for malaria. So we want to come alongside and start a best clinic for this whole region.
Ward Brem said, when we're just thinking about the poor in general, it seems like a big problem. And it's also just, well, what could I do? But when we meet individuals and we find that each of those individuals, whether they're poor or struggling, has a name, they have a family, they have goals that they want for their lives, they want to make things better, and we think about helping that specific person, that's what really provides the motivation to go beyond a general concern to doing something like what Barb is doing.
Larry Ripka said that what's happening in Boneza is the closest thing to a miracle that he has seen in his lifetime. And Larry made that comment about a month or so before the groundbreaking took place for the health clinic. And the groundbreaking took place 6 years to the day of the groundbreaking for Kivu Hills Academy. He had no way of knowing how the miracle was going to continue.